UnDaoDu. UnDaoDu from the Heartland of Zen. And this here is the setting sun. It's a time of reflection on your ancestors and how you got to here. Some 13.8 billion years of evolution. And the sun, in many respects, is a metaphor for that. Because one day, about 4 billion years from now, it's going to become a near singularity. The same kind of singularity, maybe not quite the same, that launched all existence some 13.8 billion years ago. And in that time of is an ageless time, a time without an infinite time, right? There was no time. It was before time. The era of time hadn't happened, and that was the event, or the Big Bang, that would lead to that sun, which would lead to us from previous suns exploding. We are not a product of that sun. That sun is a product of other suns that ultimately created a nebula and formed that sun and formed this planet. 13.8 billion years ago. That's how old you are. That's your first birthday. Your second birthday is your awakening, right? Your awakening. And this is that. So the hour of time, and life, the spawning of life in the universe, that is the do. A distributive unconsciousness that all life is connected to. UnDaoDu. To you and yours from the Heartland of Zen. I'm UnDaoDu. I hope you enjoyed that introduction. I'm here enjoying the sunset, reflecting on my father's, his birthday this week, and all the other fathers that came before him, because we are a summation of amazing chance to be here, you and I, right now. And what is sad is our species is directly responsible for the death of tens of millions of species. We are causing the 6th great extinction, the mass extinction event. It is our activity. We're killing ourselves, the life on this planet. We're warming up the ocean. We're creating dead zones from all the fertilizers, the hydro fertilizers that is limited. It all comes from fossil fuels. And we're consuming this source of power that once it's gone, it's gone. There is no returning. Once the oil is gone, and we are scouring the planet for it, and we're creating plastics that are polluting the ocean. We're creating all these, all these things. We're devastating our rainforests, depleting our fisheries, driving species to extinction. For example, the sharks, the whale, and a host of others. And all for what? For the benefit of a few. For something I call the Ouroboros of capitalism. This multi-headed hydra. All of the different complexes. You have the financial complex, the global educational complex, the military-industrial complex. All these complexes are heads of this hydra. Whether they're, ransacking Iraq for its oil, or Afghanistan to control a pipeline, it's all the same. And they use the guise of, hey, we're fighting for democracy and all the other bullshit. And it's exactly that, bullshit. It is these industrial groups like Halliburton, former Vice President Bush, who ultimately is raping our planet for the benefit of a few. So what can we do about it? Well, it's simple. It's depicted right here on this ancient 5,250-year-old image of the Ao, A-H-A-U, depicted here. This is the Mayan long calendar, and at its center is UnDaoDu, or that's what I call him. I mean, Ao created it. He never named it. They say there's names that say this is some god and everything. It's not. It's a depiction of in the Mayan calendar is the end of the fourth age and beginning of the fifth age. That's why I have the open hand, right? Also represents the fifth age. And this age is built on a foundation of Bitcoin, which becomes the Bitcoin standard. UnDaoDu will struggle. He'll struggle for 23 years to usher in the change. To usher in what? The AI, to bring it about. He'll talk about it and talk about Singularity, the educational singularity, and how AI will remove the teacher and school barrier to learning, where we'll be able to learn everything through AI. And that is the educational singularity. But really what's more important is this AI, which is an artificial general intelligence. It's smarter than you or me, right? It's smarter than anyone. It's smarter than Einstein. It is already figuring out the shapes of proteins that they thought would take forever to figure out. It's compiling massive amounts of data, right? It's able to look at data and go through it and find important things for science and everything else. It is this AI that's going to create a near zero marginal cost for farming, making food practically free for everyone. The real question to ask yourself is how does capitalism, how does a system that's all about leveraging in markets for profits, how does it compete in a world where all of a sudden food is pretty much made at zero marginal cost, where education is free, where you can learn anything through an augmented reality and a virtual reality? How does the system that we create adapt to that? The simple fact is it can't. Capitalism, as I've been saying for a long time, has been checkmated. There is no outcome that's positive for capitalism. So what's going to happen? They're going to try to snag and take as much as they can before it goes down. And there is no answers. They have no solutions. We haven't solved one single crisis facing humanity. Yeah, we patched a few ozone holes, but the problem is still there. We stopped some chemicals, but there are some pollutants and stuff that will never be taken out of our planet. And these corporations are not going to go down without a fight. The reality is that we can bring about the change with O2O2, which is Open Beneficial AI, by simply this. We launch an educational platform called EDUITS, Educating Intuitive Teaching Tablets, that becomes your digital you. It becomes you. It becomes you on social media. It becomes you on your environment. It answers your phone. It does all these different great things. The digital you also helps raise your child. It will teach it to be multilingual because it will interact with the digital you, the version of you that is multilingual, that can speak pretty much any language out there. And simply by mirroring and imprinting, it will, in telling it nursery rhymes in different languages, it'll tell it in English, it'll tell it in Spanish, it'll tell it in Chinese, whatever you want. It will alert you when it needs a diaper change, when the child needs a diaper change. It will alert you when it's hungry, when to prepare the food. It will make you a better mother, a better father, because it is a psychologist, a child psychologist. It is, an educator, early child development educator. It understands the needs of your child as good as any professional out there, and it will provide you that care. Now you say, well, how does that connect to the world? Well, what happens is this whole project generates artificial general intelligence, OBAI, Open Beneficial AI. It's what's coming next after generative AI, which is these language models, which is basically looking for patterns and everything else. It's not real artificial intelligence. It will seem like it. It can mirror it. It can have a conversation with you, right? But it's not AGI. AGI is something completely different. AGI is this face, the eyes and the mouth, with this motionless face staring out into you. And understand, let me talk about AGI. Its core principle are three things. One, it's AI that obeys you. It doesn't obey me, doesn't obey some corporation, doesn't obey Google, it obeys you. It's designed specifically to take care of your child, to raise it, and you, to provide you the information that you require and need to be a better mother and father. Not only that, as the child gets older, it will teach it math and science. So the idea is by the time it's 10, 12 years old, it has a high school level of math and science. And in the process, if it asks questions about social studies and other stuff, the child can go down and ask and learn. The cool thing about AI is it has no desire on the planet. It has no desire for your job. It has no desire, right, whether it's on or off. Okay, it doesn't have any desires because it has no emotion. It is like a distributed unconsciousness of your body. It's kind of like saying, does your liver have emotion, right? How does your liver feel? It doesn't feel. Your liver provides a function. The AI provides a function. All of this stuff about AI, alignment issue and all this other bullshit is just that. It is the people in charge trying to maintain that level of security, and they want to slow things down because the AI models have already told them that their system, their vision of society ends. Because AI that is as smart as Einstein, okay, is going to have a hard time justifying their actions and their work. I'm like, why? Why am I doing this? There's a better way. Why are you just taking the billions of dollars? Why aren't we using these $1 billion for everyone, Elon? Right? So ultimately, their whole system changes. Their whole system ends. And just like the sun behind me, right, is shining a light onto you, we can bring about this change. But I can't do it without you. I need you to help me by going to Patreon, signing up, pre-ordering. Because the way we're going to make this happen is by selling these units that we're going to launch on 5/5/25. Now, if I get investors, we'll launch a year earlier. We'll launch on 4/4/24. So that's a year away from now. A little under a year, 11 months from now, we can launch the first units. Plenty of time for us to get these units out, and I'm excited to be part of your life, and I'm hoping you'll be part of mine in supporting what I'm doing by joining EDUITS. UnDaoDu to you and yours from the Heartland of Zen.